Hey guys, I just wanted to show you some stuff that I've been working on with Phoenix recently. So I'm doing touchpad training with her. There's a lot of benefits to touchpad training. One of the benefits that I'm doing right now is getting her in a nice heel position. So a lot of the times I see dogs heeling and they're either too far out or their back end is angled away from the owner. And so what I really want to teach her is a nice snug heel position with her body aligned with mine. And I like teaching her it on the left side as well as the right side. So I start by teaching her a little what we call back end awareness. So dogs naturally don't know how to move their back end while keeping their front paws in the same position. So this kind of helps teach that a little bit. And so even before I go to the touchpad, the first thing that I want to do, especially with a young dog, is what I call food luring. So what that means is just getting the dog in the habit of following food with my hand. So this is going to be a really good teaching for any dog, because it allows the dog to just follow exactly what you want. So then the next thing, like after I get the dog really good at that with a couple sessions, is I want to get her on the touchpad. So right now I'm using just a small pot. You can use this pot. They have touchpads that you can get on dog training websites and stuff. I like it just a little bit off the ground. This one's probably a little bit too high off the ground, but it's been working. And so I just want the dog to be really aware of what it's keeping its paws on, because if it's not aware of like the difference between the touchpad and the ground, the front paws get sloppy. And so in the beginning, all we're doing is getting the dog on the touchpad and off the touchpad. So because we've already established a little bit of this food luring behavior, we start to guide on, touch, good, and guide off, okay. And we start adding verbal cues. I add verbal cues fairly soon. I know a lot of trainers do it differently, but I start adding it right away. I think it starts capturing behaviors pretty quickly. Okay, good, touch, good. And once the dog gets in the habit of, okay, going on the touchpad with less guidance, that's when you know you're ready to move on to the next step. So Phoenix, touch. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is get in the habit of getting her back end to move. So how we do that is, you know, we follow those first two steps, the food luring, getting her on and off the touchpad, and that really sets us up for the third step by luring her head. So whatever her head's going to do, her bum's going to do the opposite. So that's going to be really beneficial to us. So we want to just lure her with her facing us and following the opposite of what we're doing. Good. So I actually teach a command for this. It's called front. She's training in French, so I'm saying avant, which is front. Good. And then we move a little bit less food luring, like having it farther from her face, the better that she gets. But we still want to make sure that our rate of reward is incredibly high, so that we're really capturing the behavior. So even if it's just a little bit of movement at a time, rewarding. But you can even kind of use a little bit of spatial pressure with your foot, because she'll see that kind of come in. It depends on the dog. Some dogs get a little bit offended by it. Most young puppies don't. So it just kind of depends. So that's kind of the third step, is just teaching her that. So what we do from here is now we start to teach a heel position. So this part gets a little bit tricky. So you're going to want to align your body where you want her to heel. So the pot is in the middle and I want her to heel on the left hand side. I want to make sure that my left foot is touching the pot. And then we want to guide her into that position. So let me do that again. So she's facing us. What we want to do is we want to turn our body towards the pot and guide her. And guide, good. And so I'm actually putting the treat towards the outward ear. So that way, you know, she has no choice but to move her head that way, and then her body aligns better. Good. get in the habit of going back and forth from this position. Okay, good. And I start adding a command right away, so avant. Good. Okay. Okay, so guiding, okay. Good. So I wanted her bum a little bit more tucked in, avant. And so I just kept guiding and guiding until she could earn the treat. In the beginning, like I said, reward even for the smallest amount of movements, but once she gets it, start kind of waiting until her body is fully in that position to give her the food. You're more likely to get a really pretty heel that way. Okay. Good. And then you can practice moving around the touchpad and having her continually heel. Okay. Good. Okay. Good. Avant. And so again, when we get her back in that front position, we want to move our body so that she can face us, but she's still able to do a little bit of it on her own. So, and it's the same goes for the other side too. So we turn our body the way we need her to heel, so we give her the command, pousse, pousse, pousse. Good. Good. So, and when the dog first starts like this, she's done it so many times that she knows where I'm guiding her. In the beginning, it's just a little bit at a time, and then reward. Little bit, reward. Good. Avant. Good. Pousse. Good. Good. Avant. Good. Okay. So how quickly a dog learns this depends on a couple of things, like how hungry they are, because that will kind of keep their attention span going a little bit longer. Their age kind of factors into it, and if they're actually a pretty confident dog. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and hope you guys have fun doing this kind of training at home.